Today, surveillance in general computing, active surveillance in the UK and elsewhere, and due process going Kafkaesque. Your host is Rick Falkvinger, and this is Liberties Report.
This report is presented by Private Internet Access.
Good evening and welcome to Liberties Report Week 20, 2015. David Cameron in the UK, where Tories just got an absolute majority in the legislative chambers, is certainly wasting no time whatsoever. Ars Technica reports that the GCHQ, the spying agency of the United Kingdom, in all silence had a law passed that allowed them to break into computer systems, what is called active surveillance. This differs from what the UK has done before, which is listening to everything and anything and storing it for later analysis, by also essentially allowing their spying agencies to break into people's computers, break into people's electronics, and use those electronics sensors to pick up anything they want. The UK, to be honest though, are not the only ones doing this. There are many discussions in the Western world exactly what the spying agencies and surveillance agencies have been authorized to do, as can be observed in the United States debate around the Patriot Act right now, for instance. And in Sweden, for instance, there is an alarming consensus that the spying agency FRA may have been authorized to use this so-called active surveillance. To understand just how dangerous this is, we need to look more at general-purpose computers, as Cory Doctorow is excellent at describing them. Because this is not just breaking into your laptop, or your stationary computer, or even your phone. Malware can be, which is surveillance malware, can be implanted into printers, keyboard, television sets, anything with sensors and their own processor, really, even independently into webcams. As Doctorow puts it, every computer can run every computer program. This is key to understanding the environment we're dealing with. Every computer that has ever existed and will ever exist can run every computer program that has ever existed and will ever exist. What happens is that computers are getting faster, so they are executing the same set of symbolic instructions faster and more efficiently and using less electricity. But if you're discounting that, given infinite time and infinite energy, then a computer from the 1960s is fully able to run today's computer programs, abstracted to symbolic code. And this, the general-purpose computer, is key to understanding why malware is dangerous. Because it means that such malware, such surveillance intruding computer instructions, can be embedded into anything that has an independent computer. And today, mostly everything is cheaper to make if you give it an independent processor. That goes from the individual flash memory chips to your refrigerator. And if that object has a sensor of any kind, be it temperature, be it a microphone, be it a camera like today's televisions have, then they can be used for surveillance against citizens. David Cameron went on to say the far creepiest thing any Western politician has said lately, quote, "Far too long we have been a passively tolerant society, saying to citizens, as long as you obey the law, we will leave you alone." Cameron goes on to say that this is coming to a decisive end. Do you understand just how far-reaching that statement is? It's been paraphrased, I would say correctly paraphrased, as, "It is not enough to obey the law, you must also love Big Brother." To understand just how far-reaching this is, it uproots a court case, a long-standing principle that is 250 years old. We need to go back to a court case from 1765 named Entink versus Carrington, which ended with Lord Camden saying that the state may do nothing but that which is expressly authorized by law, while the individual may do anything but that which is forbidden by law. And this is a key principle for the entire Western society. As quoted by Camden, "If it is law, it will be found in our books. If it is not to be found there, it is not law." The fact that an individual can never be implicitly forbidden to do something, but only expressly forbidden from an action in law, is key to society, as is the fact that authorities may only take action over and above what would normally be allowed if that action is prescribed by law. Meanwhile, Sweden goes from the Orwellian to the more Kafkaesque. 10 agencies in law enforcement have gone public this week and complained that they think it's disturbing that accused people are defending themselves. They are complaining how people accused of crimes can be visible in media, they can take part in society, they can even comment on their case, they can question their case, they can hire experts to verify the correctness of the due process. And these are 10 key law enforcement agencies who are complaining about this fact. And perhaps worst, they state, prosecutors are actually required to prove statements by the accused to be false. Can you imagine a law enforcement agency, a police agency, complaining about this? Can you imagine what a society looks like if a police agency wouldn't have to prove statements by the accused to be false, but that where their word is taken at face value? That is going straight from the Orwellian into the Kafkaesque. This, I'm afraid, may become quite darker before it gets better again. I'm Rick Falkvinger and this is Liberties Report. Visit our sponsor, Private Internet Access. Good night.
This report is presented by Private Internet Access.
Liberties Report is produced using exclusively free software.